This video is about class 6, lesson 3, Taro's reward. This is a story about a thoughtful and loving son whose name is Taro. He works very hard to fulfill his parents' wishes and gets some unexpected help. What was that help? Let's get into the lesson. A young woodcutter named Taro lived with his mother and father on a lonely hillside. All day long he chopped wood in the forest. Though he worked very hard, he earned very little money. This made him sad, for he was a thoughtful son and wanted to give his old parents everything they needed. One evening, when Taro and his parents were sitting in a corner of their hut, a strong wind began to blow. It whistled through the cracks of the hut, and everyone felt very cold. Suddenly, Taro's father said, "I wish I had a cup of sake. It would warm me and do my old heart good." This made Taro sadder than ever, for the heartwarming drink called sake was very expensive. How do I earn more money? He asked himself. How do I get a little sake for my poor old father? He decided to work harder than before. Next morning, Taro jumped out of bed earlier than usual and made his way to the forest. He chopped and cut as the sun climbed, and soon he was so warm that he had to take off his jacket. His mouth was dry and his face was wet with sweat. My poor old father, he thought, if only he was as warm as I. And with that, he began to chop even faster, thinking of the extra money he must earn to buy the sake to warm the old man's bones. Suddenly, Taro stopped chopping. What was that sound he heard? Could it be? Could it possibly be rushing water? Taro is a young woodcutter who lived with his parents' lonely hillside in his hut. All day long, as he chopped wood in the forest, though he worked very hard, he earned very little money. That was not enough for them, which made him very sad and wanted to give his old parents everything they actually needed. One fine evening, when Taro and his parents were sitting in a corner of their hut, a strong wind suddenly began to blow. It actually whistled through the cracks of the hut. Everyone felt very cold. Then suddenly Taro's father said, "I wish I could had a cup of sake." A sake means it's a very